and welcome back to my second advice piece that I'll be filming and delivering. I can't believe it's already my second piece because it's kind of YouTube is kind of one of those things that you think, will I stick to it? But fingers crossed I do, and this is now I think the third video that I'm filming, but my second kind of advice column. I need to think of a catchy phrase for that one, so any ideas, comment below. So today I'm going to be talking about periods, and there's a lot of kind of taboo when it comes to periods and exercise and kind of just periods in general. People don't talk about them, so I'm here to talk about periods. I'm going to start off by telling you a story, a very embarrassing story about my period that happened last week. So I just done a park run, which I don't usually do on a Saturday morning, but I just done a park run, and I quickly ran to my boyfriend's parents' house to kind of wash up because it was muddy. Which then I had to go to a waxing appointment. So I have intimate waxing done, and on my way whilst I was driving, I felt kind of a bit ill. I felt crampy in my lower tummy. I kind of thought to myself, is it because I've had some dairy today? I don't usually have lactose in my diet, but that day I had. Anyway, so I just thought, oh, it could be my period. I haven't been on for a bit. I'll make sure I go to the toilet before I get my wax to just check. Went to the toilet, nothing there, blah, blah, blah. Had my wax. And then she just said to me, there's a little bit of bleeding, so just make sure that you change when you get home. And I went, oh, do you mean bleeding from the waxing? Because sometimes you can bleed from waxing if your skin's quite sensitive or the hairs are quite coarse. I don't usually bleed from waxing, so I found it quite unusual that she said that, which is why I asked, oh, you mean from the waxing? And she said, no, it looks like you've just started your period. And oh my God, I was mortified. I just kept apologising, and thank goodness she's a very professional lady who has dealt with things like that before, so she was very kind of comfortable in that situation. However, me not ever being in that situation was a little bit embarrassing. No, it was massively embarrassing. I did nearly cry, and I just had to profusely apologise for the situation that I put her in, because nobody really wants to be in that situation when it's not your own period, okay? So anyway, so that happened, and that's kind of what made me think, let's talk about periods and exercise. So a lot of us kind of think, ugh, I'm on my period. If you're a bit like me, the day before and the kind of subsequent days after, I feel so bloated, I feel really tired, and I just want to sit on the sofa and do nothing. And I know a lot of other women are like that. However, I also know that the best kind of thing to do when you're on your period is exercise. So you might have a lot of questions about exercise and why it's good when you're on your period. So there's lots of different reasons. One main reason is that exercise improves your mood no matter what, whether you're on your period or not. The endorphins that are released are really, really good. They make you feel happier, they make you feel more energetic, and overall your hormone balance is a little bit better. Another aspect to it is, it's gone out of my mind, is the fact that you're moving around, you're increasing your blood circulation, which is really good for all the processes that are going on in your body. So they're kind of the two main things. Another question I get asked a lot is, what kind of exercise should you be doing, or should I be doing whilst I'm on my period? And that is, studies actually suggest that aerobic exercise is kind of the best option. As I said before, we don't usually feel very energetic prior to exercise. So the thought of doing, I don't know, CrossFit or HIIT training or like a combat class is the last thing on your mind, and you are 90% likely to kind of just say, no, I'm not doing that, just because the thought of actually sweating and trying hard is terrifying. So the best kind of thing to do is walking, like running, or reducing the kind of intensity of your workout. I would say that everybody's intensity levels depend on the person. So like something that's really hard for me wouldn't be very hard for somebody else. However, something that's not very hard for me would be very hard for somebody else, if that makes sense. So it's all up to the individual person when it comes to type of intensity. So as I've said, aerobics, so like walking, for me, I'd probably say a swim. Obviously, probably not the thing you want to do if you're on a period and you're not used to wearing tampons, but I wear tampons and I'm comfortable swimming whilst I'm on my period. So kind of swimming, and I'd say like a home workout would do me quite well actually. But there's the other side where you can actually, a lot of studies have suggested that low repetition strength training can really reduce kind of the pain and any discomfort that you're having. So I would suggest doing like a weights class or going to the gym, and if you know enough about weights to kind of run your own class or do your own session, I'd say keep it to a minimum of 4 to 5 repetitions of weights, whether it's, for a really easy example would be bicep curls. So I would probably pick up a 14 kg and I would do 5 bicep curls. And by the time I've got to that 4th or 5th rep, I'd be really struggling. That's the kind of strength training you want to be doing. So kind of, I keep saying kind of, 80% plus of your 1 repetition max. If you don't know what that means, you can Google it. Otherwise, I will probably post a video about 1 rep max and strength training in the future. So strength training and aerobics are kind of the best things to do whilst you're on your period. Some good habits to incorporate in on when you're on your period is drinking lots and lots of water. Your body and your metabolism is working a lot harder during this time, so you want to be giving it all the nutrients and proper kind of fuel that it needs to happen. So that's a little bit of information as to exercise and periods. I would also like to just say, every woman has a period. Well, most women have periods, and it's very normal to go through that process. And it shouldn't be something that you're scared of, especially when exercising. There are a lot of issues that come with periods, such as leaking, discomfort, lack of self-confidence when you're on your period. I would just say, if there are things that you struggle with, exercise at home or don't exercise around a large group of people, but do exercise. Don't let those things put you off increasing your heart rate and doing exercise, because at the end of the day, once you've done it, you're going to feel fantastic. You're going to feel much better. It's a form of pain management, and also it's great for your health. So I hope that's kind of been a little bit helpful. Maybe you can relate to some of my incidents that I've had in the past, and I hope that you have learned something from what I've said. Please remember to subscribe and comment any questions that you may have. I also tag all my social media links in the bottom, so please go and do that as well. See you later.